and welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living right here in beautiful Fullerton, California. My name is Tomoko Rosas, and I'm a practitioner at this beautiful spiritual center. Please join me in stating our purpose statement. We are a loving spiritual community, empowering all to live healthy and successful lives through practicing the principles of science and life. So before our beautiful Beverley prays us in, I have a few announcements. And today, as everybody knows, it is Amanda's installation day, our brand new practitioner. Yay! Great, thank you for joining us. And it's going to be during service and potluck lunch afterwards, so please stay. The Virtual Panda Express fundraiser is this Wednesday, the September 22nd, and it's all day long. And all the instructions are in the program and then also on the flyer in the back. Unexpected Income Club is doing wonderful, and we'll be announcing what we're doing with it pretty shortly. Our total today is $12,153.85. Yay! Information regarding our fall classes are in the program. All the details are in there. And starting date will be announced as soon as we have a nice group of students interested in taking the class. So all the details are in there, so please take a look. Mark your calendar for October 10th. Mark Romero is back with us with his sound healing. Yes. Ooh. And he will be our special guest speaker and musician, and he will offer a workshop afterwards as well, so please stay. And usually it's for a fee, but this time it's going to be for love donation, so invite everybody. Let's fill this place. And that's it from me. Thank you for listening.
Good morning and God morning. Now let us pray. This I know to be true. God is eternally and inclusively everywhere, in everything and in everyone. There is no separation. All is forever joined as one in spirit. And now from Mahatma Gandhi Canadian Foundation for World Peace. One tree can start a forest. One smile can begin a friendship. One hand can lift a soul. One word can frame a goal. One candle can wipe out darkness. One laugh can conquer gloom. One hope can raise your spirits. One touch can show you care. One life can make the difference. Be that one today. And now, with hearts filled with gratitude, we thank and bless all of our volunteers, the Board of Trustees, the practitioners, the church, junior church teachers, the greeters, and our coffee fellowship. We also thank and bless each member of our church staff, the minister, Reverend Dr. Bill Salisbury, for his uplifting message, our beloved office manager, Tomoko, for her attention to detail and organization, and the music team for their special gift of music and song, led by Tommy Cosentino. It takes many people to share their loving support, time, treasure, and talent to make each service a joyful celebration which deepens our connection to Spirit and to each other as we learn and live together in our blessed, sacred community of CSL Fullerton. We are one in 21. And together we say, thank you, God, and so it is.
I need to be still, let God love me. I need to be still and let God love me. When this old world starts to push and shove me, I need to be still and let God love me.
For my reading today, I have chosen passages from To Bless the Space Between Us by one of my favorite spiritual authors, John O'Donohue. What is a blessing? A blessing is a circle of light drawn around a person to protect, heal, and strengthen. It is a wall that shelters. Life is a constant flow of emergence. The beauty of a blessing is the belief that it can affect what unfolds. A blessing awakens future wholeness. When a blessing is invoked, a window opens in eternal time. Our longing for the eternal kindles our imagination to bless. The human heart continues to dream of a state of wholeness, where everything comes together, where loss will be made good. To invoke a blessing is to call that wholeness upon a person in the now. The beauty of a blessing is that it recognizes no barriers, no distances. All the given frontiers of blockage that separate us can be penetrated by the loving subtlety of a blessing. This can often be the key to awakening and creating forgiveness. When we practice sending blessing to those who have injured us, forgiveness becomes possible. When you bless another, you must first gather yourself. You reach below your surface mind and personality, down to your soul. Blessing is from soul to soul. And the key to who you are is your soul. The soul is the home of vision. Meister Eckhart said, the soul has two faces. One is directed toward your outward life, the other toward God. It is the core self that dovetails into the infinite. When you bless someone, you literally call the force of their infinite self into action. Whenever one person takes another into the care of the heart, they have the power to bless. When we love someone, we turn toward them with our souls, and the soul itself is the source of blessings. A blessing is a form of grace. Grace is the permanent climate of divine kindness. There are no limits to it. It has no corners or breakage in its flow. For those who believe in blessings, it can signal the start of a journey of transformation. It belongs to the same realm as the inner life. Its effects become only visible in the changed quality of one's experience. When the gift or need of the individual coincides with the incoming force of the blessing, great change can begin. The Bible is full of blessings. They are seen as a communication of life from God. Once a blessing is spoken, it cannot be annulled or recalled. It is often recommended that we ask for a blessing in the Bible. Ask advice of every wise person and a blessing of every holy one. Found blessings such as friendship, health, discoveries, and accomplishments are considered direct blessings from God. The more we recognize found blessings, the more they increase and move us forward on our spiritual path. This weave of blessings is a constant activity of what is now called mindfulness, a recognition of the miracle of being here on the constant shoreline of pure arrival. The power of intention to bless is not a utopian fantasy. It can be shown factually to affect concrete and transformative action. Blessing has pure agency because it animates on the deepest threshold between being and becoming. It mines the territories of memory to awaken and draw forth possibilities we cannot even begin to imagine. Now let us anchor these words in prayer with a blessing by the author, titled Presence. May you awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in your senses. May you respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. May the warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May your outer dignity mirror the inner dignity of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Namaste.
God is life and I am light. God is light and I am light. God is joy and I am joy. God is love and I am love. God is peace and I am peace. God is power and I am power. God is strength and I am strength. And God is all these things I am. God is all these things I am. God is all these things I am. God is light and I am light. God is life and I am
Wasn't that great? I love that song. So good morning.
Good morning.
Our overarching theme this month is still the big picture. And today we're talking about living from power. So the question is, who lives from power? I don't need a show of hands. Because the answer is everybody lives from power. Whether we're aware of it or not, everybody lives from power. So really our job is to recognize that power and to pay attention to living from it. Because if we're not cognizant of it, that power can manifest in lots of different directions, and maybe directions we don't even want. From Living the Science of Mind by our founder, Ernest Holmes, under the heading of The Life That Is Within You. The life within you is God. Whatever is true of God is true of your life, since your life and the life of God are not two, but one. The enlightened have ever proclaimed this unity of good, this oneness of man with God. This life within you being God did not begin, and it cannot end. Hence, you are immortal and eternal. You can never be less, but must forever be more yourself as this life within you unfolds through your experiences, through your gathering of knowledge and wisdom. The God that is within you is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. Every apparent imperfection from which you suffer is a result of ignorance. Because ignorance of the law excuses no one from its effects, it follows that the very power which has bound you, rightly understood and properly used, will produce freedom. Whatever you mentally see and spiritually comprehend, you may objectively experience. For the God within you is not limited to any one experience. It is the creator of all experience. And sometimes it's easy kind of to lose sight of that. But the fact of the matter is, every experience we have, every experience, as Clint Eastwood would say, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of those experiences have a seed of possibility. A seed of opportunity. We just have to be aware of that. We have to grasp it. And we have to know that that power that is within us, and don't misunderstand, it's not like there's a chunk of something in me called power. The fact of the matter is, everything within me is made up of power, and that power is refreshed every nanosecond because it's constantly the goodness of life, of spirit, of God, coming through me, ever changing. There's no such thing as static. Think about it. Nothing stays the same. Even the mountains we look at that seem like they're going to have always been there. Not so. They weren't always there. The shape of the landscape changes, and everything with us changes constantly and continuously. So where does that put us? I mean, I don't want to paint a picture of this la la land, oh, everything is good, everything is great, everything is beautiful. It is. But sometimes it doesn't appear that way at first to us. I mean, look around. There's lots of injustice in this world, isn't there? There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of everything that normally we would say we don't particularly want. But our job is to draw on that power that is constantly flowing through us and to witness all the injustice, all the hurt, all the anger, all the things that we don't want. Witness all of that without letting it, I was going to say letting it extinguish our light, but we have to look at it without even letting it diminish our light. we can because we have that power within us. So if the question arises, well, who can I talk to about that power? I'd like to get a handle on this. I'd like to get a manual. Well, in answer to that, and kind of, I don't want to be controversial, and I don't want to be, like that, but thinking about the Donahue reading that Beverley just did, and it's all this beauty, he did say that we should seek answers or advice, or we should seek from holy people. Well, who are holy people? Raise your hand. You're holy people, we're holy people. Everything is holy. Sometimes we draw this distinction. We want to split the sacred and the secular. No, there is no split. When we begin to do that, then we begin to think in terms of us and others, them and us, that and me. There's no that and me. There's that in me, there's no that and me. So when we want to seek answers from holy people, have you ever had a time, I'm pretty sure everybody has, but just think about it, when you had a question about something, or you had a feeling, or you had something that you really wanted some direction on, and that direction came from some bizarre place you never would have expected it to come from. It might have come from the guy changing oil down at the service station. It might have come from a second grade child. It might have come from somebody that you never even met, but they happened to say something that made what you were kind of agonizing over come clear. It happens all the time. Was it them? No. Just like it's never us. It's never me. It's only that power working through us that does that. And you know what? Sometimes we just have to get out of the way of ourselves for that to happen. Other times, life just nudges us out of the way, doesn't it? Sometimes, without even thinking about it, we're just doing or saying something that just amazes us. Remember last week about doing amazing things? We always do amazing things because we have that power. We have the power of the divine, the power of God, all the power in the world, in the universe, in eternity. We have it at our beck and call. So if we don't use it, who's that on? Is that God's fault? No. And we talk about asking for blessings. We don't need to ask for a blessing. We came to this existence blessed. We were blessed from before we even came into existence. We've been blessed since the nanosecond of the universe and before that. Because we come from and with and to deliver that Christ consciousness. If that's not a blessing, I'm not sure what is. So we are blessed and we are a blessing. Because we have that power, when we put that power to constructive good use, when we are aware of it, when we live in it and live from it, we are a blessing to everybody. I was going to say to everybody we meet. We don't have to meet them to be a blessing to them. There are people who are blessings to us that we will never meet, we'll never hear of, we'll never have any clue in the world as to their identity. But we are blessed by them. Because every time we do something from our power out into the world, it reverberates throughout. I don't want to get technical, so I won't. But there is this thing physicists refer to as quantum entanglement. And really basically simple at its bottom understanding is there are instances of something happening to a proton or a cell here in one place, and it has been measured to have had a reciprocal effect on something millions of light years away from us. How can this be? Because we're used to doing or saying something and then going through a series of steps and watching for a manifestation or demonstration. And that does happen very often. It happens to us. But the fact is, at bottom, physicists know that something that takes place right here, right now, instantaneously has a connection somewhere on the other side of the universe. So if we can have an instantaneous get-together like that, why would it be so difficult to believe that something somebody does on the other side of the world can have a beneficial effect on us? I know what you're thinking. Well, it could have a negative effect also. Yes, but that's why we have that power within us. We have that power so that we can offset anything that seems kind of untoward to us. So how do we live from this power? Back to that in a second. I just realized that there's one more thing I want to say. Your truth, know it, speak it, live it. This is Eileen Hannigan. She's a psychotherapist. She's a depth psychologist. But they have sometimes some really meaningful, important, juicy things to say to us. And she says, your truth is who you are at the core of your being. It is your pure essence. Who you are without the pressures of family and society and religion telling you who to be. It is the inner voice which tells you what feels right and wrong. Most of us have built shields of pretense over the years in order to feel safe and secure. In a sense, we have built these shields to protect ourselves from knowing the truth and have allowed them to become the truth. Call it a false self or a false truth. Letting go of this false self is the gateway that opens you up to knowing your truth. And we have talked about this several times. We kind of talk about this all the time. But it's that power that we live from and that we live with that allows us to wake up to the fact that we've been telling ourselves lies all our life. And other people have been telling us lies. And in our defense and their defense, they haven't been malicious. They've been in an effort to what? To kind of coddle us and cuddle us and keep us safe from some perceived harm. But when we know that we have the power, that we are the power, that we can wield this power, the power of God, the power of creation, we're not limited to staying inside those feelings and inside those vessels of not quite our true identity. We can allow the truth about us to come out. And some of the ways we do that is in community. Don't we do it in community? But we have to be careful that when we're talking about in community, that we're not talking about judgment. Though we sometimes in community, get to a little bit of judgment comes up. Yeah. Well, we do things this way. They certainly do things wrong. The community idea so that we can get together and combine our power and let it come together and mix and mingle and grow bigger, because isn't it the case if you have 2 or 3 people, as the master teacher said, 2 or 3 people gathering in his name, isn't that, don't you just feel a little more powerful doing that? And if you come into a group of 30 people, you can feel that presence even bigger, even more. And if you ever go to a huge venue where there's hundreds, maybe thousands of people, you can feel that energy. You can feel it before you even get there. Because that's what community does. Community merges all that power into this palpable feeling and vibration that we can all benefit from. That we can all join in, that we can all direct, but we can only direct it when we're coming from that idea of good. That this power is good. This power is for our benefit, but it has to be a power of good. If it wasn't a power for good, it could never have lasted this long. If there was more than one power, what would happen? It'd be like a Marvel TV show, right? These powers going head to head. We don't have more than one power. We have only one. You know, there's this line in the Bible that talks about Jesus descended into hell. Well, I'm not sure I believe that, because one, I don't think there's any such geographic place or physical place or spiritual place or mental place. I think there's an emotional hell we can go through if we choose. But even if there was, wouldn't it be the case that he would have taken that aura, that light, that godliness, that consciousness that he's so famous for, and if there was a hell and he went into it, automatically and without fail, it would have to have just eradicated everything that wasn't light within it. So we can dispense with all of that and know that that power, and that power that he wielded, how many times did he have to tell us? These things and more you shall do. Or sometimes we get hung up on speaking of things we tell ourselves that maybe aren't right from the primal truth. We have these things called the 10 Commandments, right? And what did the master teacher Jesus say, by the way? He only gave 2 commandments.
Love yourself
Love God,
and others.
love yourself and your neighbor. Yes. But before that, we had the 10 Commandments, and mostly shall nots, but some shall do's. So we had thou shalt have no other God before me, meaning, yeah, you have to recognize that there is only one. And almost every religion, and even the pagan religions, and even those with multiple gods, always said that behind them, there was still just that one, whatever it is. You know, we don't have to call it God. There's this consciousness back of everything. So I like that. And then we had something like, thou shalt not kill. I think that's pretty good. And I think that probably is a directive from the divine, because the divine, that consciousness that creates all things and where that power is and comes from, is a life-giving, life-sustaining thing. So would it put something here, somebody here with a direction to stop life? No. Our charge is to live and live and live and live and more live. But then don't we come into those things that sound strangely like man-made? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. I'm sorry, that sounds a lot like kind of a restricted man writing that. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Well, okay, it's probably a good idea when you're living socially, but guess what? God doesn't know if you're coveting something or somebody. And God certainly doesn't punish us for that. We punish ourselves. or society punishes us, or we allow that to happen. Still, there was some good stuff in there, but I think we need to fall back. We need to just understand most of that stuff as being societal, as being composed of ways that we should live in order to keep peace in the world. Yet there was an instance I think about that this Jewish fella and this fundamental Christian fella were arguing, and the Jewish guy says, you know, everything you Christians have, you took from us. And the Christian said, well, yeah. And then the Jewish guy says, like, especially like the 10 Commandments. And the Christian guy says, well, yeah, I mean, you could say we took them from you, but we certainly haven't kept them. Yeah, sometimes I wonder, this term fundamental Christianity is such a misnomer. I don't know who tagged that line, who hashtagged it, who came up with it, but it is so far off the mark because fundamentally Christ was about only and always love. Love your neighbor, love your God, love yourself, forgive. That's fundamental Christianity. What we call fundamental Christianity is like almost the exact opposite of that. It's selecting some really warped, really weird phrases written by man, by the way, out of the Bible, and putting them forth as a gospel, should I say? And Jesus himself said, I did not come to destroy the law and the prophets. I came to fulfill them. And yet somehow, a lot of people have lost sight of that message. So who do we want to talk to when we want some guidance? Or when we, not even guidance, if we just have something as, you ever have something like a little niggling at you, a little, you know, just in the back of your mind where you can't quite reach around and slap it to make it quiet because it just keeps coming back to you. And you want to talk to somebody about it, we go to the holy person. That holy person can be your mother, your brother, the lady down the street, the guy who's out mowing the lawn, okay? It could be anybody because we never know where that good advice is going to come from. And then we know that the first thing we do and the last thing we do is we take it to prayer. Isn't that what we do? We take it, that's this teaching, take it to prayer. But we don't pray to a God out there or a God somewhere else or a God separate or detached from us. Even Jesus said, when you pray, go into your closet and pray. Well, of course, think back, they didn't have closets back then like we do. Wall to wall, hanging, 8,000 garments in there. No, what he was talking about, go into that closet that is that separate room, that little secret compartment within you, within your own heart and soul and mind and body. That's where we go to do that. And we do it sometimes and we're not even aware of it. We do it without thinking about it because we are praying all the time. All the time. Remember that saying that our thoughts are prayers? You had very many moments where you weren't thinking, when you didn't have thoughts rattling through your head? No, we always have them. Consequently, we're always praying. And that's why we have to recognize and understand this power. Because it's this power coming through us. When we have these thoughts end up going out with that power and becoming things in the world. We don't even have to. You don't even have to stop in your tracks and say, okay, right now I'm going to pray about this. We do that sometimes because we want to set that tone. But you don't have to do that because we're doing it anyway. So there are 3 guys out in a boat on the ocean. Storm came up. Really bad storm. They were in fear that their boat was going to sink and they were going to be out of here. So the 2 guys who were totally, completely unchurched, atheists, if you wish, and they're telling this 3rd guy, come on, you've been to church. You know how to do it. You need to pray to get us out of this. Pray that we come out of this safe. The guy says, man, I haven't been to church in 15 years. I'm not even sure I can remember how to do it. And they kept on him and kept on him, and the sea kept getting rougher and the wind got bigger and stronger. And finally he says, okay, I'll try. And he assumes the position, and he says, dear God, I know I haven't prayed to you for 15 years, but if you'll just get us out of this mess and return us safely to land, I promise I won't bother you for another 15 years. We don't do that. We're praying every 15 seconds about something, for something, because we want to, because we understand that we can use this power and change our world. Because everything in our world has come from this power, with or without our knowledge of it. So if it's coming anyway, with or without our knowledge, why don't we get that knowledge? Why don't we ask that holy person, the I am, that's right in here, and get the answer and get the instruction and get the knowledge that we can safely, solidly, securely answer our own questions about the world. We came with the blessing, remember? We came with all these gifts. We came with power. Let's use it. Let's use it to direct our lives, and not direct the lives of others, but aid others in learning how to direct their own lives, because ours is not to micromanage. Ours is to take care of ourselves. And if we can help other people learn how to do that, you know, this thing about, well, I can't change the whole world. I don't have to change the whole world. I only have to take charge of me. And if everybody said that, the whole world would change. It would become the world that we would like it to be. So I'm just going to leave you with this, because who's got tools like in their garage or at home or in their car? Everybody's got tools. Well, who has power tools? We'll use power tools. Why? Because they're quicker, they're easier, they get the job done, they're way more efficient, and they do everything we want a tool to do. We have power tools. Our power tools: love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, acceptance. We have all the power tools we get here. We got a garage full of them. We got a power tool for every possible occasion, for every occurrence. All we have to do is remember where the outlet is. Plug it in. I'm going to stop there, because we have a little thing going on right after the service here. So let's just take this to prayer, and let's just know together that our self-expression, that expression of the self as portrayed through me, comes from that self-inspection that allows me to see the truth of who I am, who I really am in the cosmos, and doesn't limit me to this body, to this frail, personal, human mind. It goes so far beyond that. And I know that once I see my place, I will cast out everything that is not power tool. Everything that is not love or passion or compassion or empathy or forgiveness or acceptance will be cast out, leaving me with just that intensity of who God made me to be. This glowing, flowing example of love and light and community. And understanding this oneness that brings to me from all around, understanding that we are one. It's not just a saying, I am you and you are me, because we are all part of the one life, the life of God. And it's just with grateful heart that I say thank you, God. Thank you for the knowing of this. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this infinite, eternal beingness that you have created for us. And I just let this word go, knowing that as I open and accept to it, my world expands beyond my wildest dreams. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. Let's just know that this is our opportunity to show our gratitude and to share our abundance. We know that all of our good comes from that one source, God, and for this we are eternally grateful. I want to just take a minute to say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our spiritual center heart for your continued support. And for those who are not coming in person to the sanctuary, thank you for donating online, by auto tithing, by mailing it in, by coming by and seeing Tomoko for maybe a practitioner session while you're at it. Meanwhile, let's just know that we bless these gifts, these tithes, these offerings, knowing they are given from the central core of who we are, which is God made manifest on this plane. We send them forward to do their good work in the community and the world. And so it is.
I open my eyes, greet a new day. I take a deep breath, kneel down and pray. Then I give thanks, look in the mirror, and a friend looks back at me. Smile lights up my face, and I know that I am blessed. So I expect the best. Oh, I expect the best. I know that I'm loved right where I am. I know I'm enough, just who I am. All that I want, all I desire is now waiting here for me. Universe conspire to ensure my happiness, so I expect the best. Living my life, living my dreams, losing all fears and spreading my wings, feeling alive, anticipating what the future holds for me. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next, 'cause I expect the best. Oh, I expect the best.
Expect the best, because remember, we don't get what we want, we get what we expect. If we're expecting the best, here it comes. So right now, I want to invite the practitioner corps because we are going to do the installation ceremony for our newest practitioner,
Sebastian.
religious science practitioner, Amanda Sicola. So I begin with a quote from the Science of Mind textbook, which I didn't bring, I just wrote here. The practitioner says, "My word is the presence, power, and activity of the truth which is within me, which is almighty, which is God. There is none other. This word then is the law of the thing whereunto it is spoken, and has within itself the ability, the power, and the intelligence to execute itself through the great law of all life." From our founder, Ernest Soames. And now to Amanda. You've chosen a pathway in life that is, and never shall be, rich in interest and fulfilled with beautiful spiritual discoveries. To serve as a practitioner is to lead those who look to you for spiritual guidance into an assurance and an acceptance of the wholeness of spirit, soul, and body. For this work, you are well prepared. Your deep understanding of life's principles and of human nature, your compassion and warm empathy will be called upon by those who look to you for the living demonstration of our teaching and our practice of spiritual mind healing. You have been licensed as a spiritual practitioner, professional spiritual practitioner by the Center for Spiritual Living and the Healing Methods of Science of Mind. Therefore, it is right and fitting that you pledge your alignment and allegiance to the teaching, to the methods, and the center in whose name you will perform your healing art. So today, we, all of us, just invite you to dedicate yourself to this charge and to this center by responding to the calling and speaking the words, "I do," as I ask you the following questions. Do you give your unqualified loyalty and support to the Centers for Spiritual Living and agree to live by the principles of this center to the best of your ability?
I do.
Do you pledge to loyally follow the direction of the minister and work in unity with your fellow practitioners in all activities pertaining to the center?
I do.
Do you agree to abide by the policies and regulations which govern a professional practitioner of religious science?
I do.
Do you dedicate yourself to faithful meditation and diligent study in order that you may expand the consciousness of your professional practice?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to absolute confidentiality, keeping inviolate the identity and confidences of those who come to you for help, unless you receive their explicit consent to do otherwise?
I do.
Do you dedicate yourself to do your utmost to reflect at all times the spirit of truth?
I do.
As a loyal and supporting member of the Fullerton Center for Spiritual Living, will you uphold and support the center and the Centers for Spiritual Living through spiritual mind treatment?
I do. I will.
Yeah. So one at a time, you're going to recite the one word, one attribute, one aspect, one verity of our teaching that you wish to dedicate to this practitioner corps and to the entire congregation to exemplify what you right now are going to bring forth. Yes.
Let's, how about service?
Service, nice.
My word is love.
Love.
Love to everyone.
My word is truth.
Truth.
I have that word. I have that word.
Compassion.
Compassion.
My word is harmony.
Harmony.
My word is
is gratitude.
Gratitude. Your word is?
Wholeness.
Wholeness. Nice. Put them all together. One flame, one flame, one flame, one flame. Oh, yeah. Set the fire detector off.
Yeah.
And together we say, and so it is. Look at all those wonderful things we have from our practitioner corps.
A quick
You
picture.
may now blow out your candle. Back to Amanda. The infinite spirit which empowers you to do all things also grants you the strength and wisdom to faithfully fulfill these vows. By the authority vested in me as an ordained minister of religious science, I celebrate and confirm your dedication as a practitioner of religious science. We, the entire practitioner corps, acknowledge you, our newly licensed practitioner, for dedicating your life to continuously practicing the presence of God and the principles of science of mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome. Welcome to the corps. And now, the practitioner corps would love for me to present you with this stole. And as you notice, all of them have one also.
Isn't this special?
That makes it official. All right, so now that we have rededicated internally by listening to all the things that we once vowed to do and have since remained doing, can we hand those out? Because we do have a covenant of healing that we, the practitioner corps, hold to, and we'll just take a minute and all read this together by way of kind of renewing our own vows right at the same time. We, the practitioners of the ministry of prayer, hereby pledge our time, energy, and prayer through spiritual mind treatment to the healing of every person who calls on us for assistance. We commit ourselves to daily meditation and treatment in order that we remain conscious of the presence of God in all we think, say, and do. We maintain an awareness of the spiritual identity of every person and know that the truth of all of us is perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. Thank you, and we'll remain up here because this is your practitioner corps. We're here available all the time for talk, for prayer, for service, so please feel free to use us. So let's just know together, something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called power.
It's this thing called power.
My power.
My power.
Which is God's power.
Which is God's power.
Working through me.
Working through me.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I have it.
I have it.
I direct it.
I direct it.
And I thank God for it.
And I thank God for it.
Thank you, God, in me.
Thank you, God, in me.
On